Hi, AP Psychology students, and welcome back. Today we are continuing to talk about personality theories, but moving on to the next theory. So that is the social cognitive theory of personality development. This aligns with topic 4.5 and learning objective 4.5a, which is explain how the social cognitive theory of personality defines and assesses personality. So our two essential questions will sound pretty familiar from the last two videos. So what does the social cognitive theory believe influences or drives our personality, and how can we assess the personality from this perspective? So social cognitive theory is a theory that really focuses on the nature-nurture aspect of our personality. So it believes that personality is a combination of, our nurture and our nature, our traits and the situation that we're in. So if I break down the social cognitive name, to tell you about the two different parts that social cognitive theorists focus on. First, you have the social. So this is the idea that they believe that we learn from our environment. So things are modeled for us, they're reinforced, we have family expectations, rules, cultural expectations, rules, friends, etc., peer groups, and all of that we see other people getting, and we think, oh, that's good, that's bad, I should do that, I shouldn't do that, this is how I should behave, etc., right? But then we also have our thoughts, right? And we have the way that we think and perceive and understand the world around us, the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about others, and this can then shape us, right? So the way that we think shapes what we do, and then what we do might end up changing or shaping our thinking, right? So all of these factors are interacting at the same time to kind of give us our full personality. So if we think about the focus of this theory, like we have the focus of humanism is that self-determination and self-actualization, and the focus of psychodynamic is that unconscious. So the focus of social cognitive is that this idea of reciprocal determinism drives our personality. So you're asking, well, what is that? So reciprocal determinism is the concept that our thoughts, our behavior, and our environment are all constantly interacting to give us who we are, right? To create a full picture of a person. So let's talk about the different parts of this diagram. So first we have the personal factors, right? These are the thoughts that you have, the values, the beliefs you have, your self-efficacy, your self-esteem. So self-esteem is the feelings you have about yourself, like if you have a positive or negative self-view. Self-efficacy is your belief in your ability to accomplish a task. So if you think that you are capable or not capable of certain things. And those obviously play a big role in the decisions you make from day to day. So the next thing that factors in is behavioral factors. So these are just the actions that you take, right? The choices you make, the actions you take, the things that you do, any achievements that come along the way, or consequences that result. And then finally, you've got the environment. And the environment is either a reaction to what you're doing, so like you do something and the environment reacts, or other people are acting and then you have to react to them. And it's not that the kind of like circle always goes in that order. So it's not like personality impacts behavior, impacts environment. If you see in the diagram, the arrows are pointing in each direction for all three factors. So it's like personality can influence the environment, which can influence the behavior, and the behavior can then influence the environment. So all of these things can constantly be interacting to give us, our full person. So let's go through an example. First, you have this boy, right? And this is Johnny, all right? And little Johnny struggles in math. So little Johnny finds math very difficult, and you're wondering, well, why? Why does he struggle in math? Well, maybe he took a test, or he had a teacher, or he had an experience where he did poorly. So then he has a thought about himself. He has low self-efficacy in math. Like, I'm not good at math, right? So then what does he do? Well, he stops trying in math. So he maybe doesn't participate in class or doesn't do extra assignments, doesn't ask for help. And what happens? He fails more things, only reinforcing the fact that he's not good at math. Okay, so now the environment is also involved in this. So the teacher then sees that he doesn't try in class, that he doesn't ask questions, that he doesn't do the homework, and thinks, oh, well, Johnny isn't interested in being good at math, or Johnny doesn't care about math. So the teacher spends his time focusing on the students that do want help or that do ask for help, right? And then the student thinks, oh, wow, this teacher doesn't even try to help me. I must really be bad at math. And then it does less of the math work, right? So you can see how all these things continually interact. Okay, so let's change one of the environmental factors. So let's say instead, same situation where he's struggling in math, doesn't do well, but let's say instead of focusing on his teacher, we think about his peer group. So if his peers also are like, oh yeah, math is lame, like bleh, and they all like joke around about not being good at math, then that's going to result in the same cycle. But let's say he has a peer group of friends who are good at math and who work really hard in math class, and he sees them do well on exams, he sees them get good grades, and then he thinks to himself, I wonder if I studied or if I prepared or if I asked questions, if I could get good grades. So then his behavior shifts and he does better on a test, influencing thinking, oh, well, maybe I am not as bad at math as I thought, or like it's good to be, and then his friends are like, oh my God, Johnny, like way to go. And that reinforcement from the environment makes him feel even more capable and positive about himself, right? So you can see that this is a constant interaction of all of these forces. So a few other things to think about with reciprocal determinism are just some key ideas about how each of these three can influence the other. So first of all, people choose different environments. Like different people choose different environments. So what I like to do and what you like to do are different. And what I like to do influences where I go and who I'm friends with, and that will then change my thought about things, and that will then influence my behavior, etc. My thoughts shape how I interpret the world. So if I tend to believe that people are threatening, or if I'm fearful or afraid of violence or any of those things, I might then see more negative and aggressive behavior, which then only reinforces the idea that people are threatening and scary. And last but not least, your behavior that you choose creates a situation. So if we keep going with the same threatening thing, like if I think people are threatening and then I see more threatening in behavior, then I might treat them more threateningly, like I might be more aggressive towards them, which like makes them more threatening towards me, right? Another example, like if I'm quiet around new people, then they assume I don't want to be friends with them, and then they ignore me, and then I only reinforce like, wow, nobody wants to talk to me, right? So again, a constant circle of interactions. So how do we assess this theory of personality, right? Well, ultimately, they believe that behavior and your thinking and the way that you act is best assessed in a realistic situation. So what they believe in is like giving you a task that's similar and then seeing how you do. So student teachers are an example of this, like nurses or doctors, like watching them on clinical rotations and seeing how they would be in a similar situation. Sometimes companies will do like manager simulations where they give them like, a task to see how they handle the stress. And this gives the people who are making decisions insight into how their personalities might be in these real situations. All right, guys. So today we talked about social cognitive theory and focused on reciprocal determinism and how we should watch behavior in realistic settings to assess behavior. So that's all for now, AP Psychos. Make sure you can answer these questions. And remember, psychology is flippin' awesome.